First of all, thank you very much for being here. And welcome everybody to what might be the first episode of the Exponential Questions podcast. And it's my great pleasure to have Dilem with us here today, one of our alumni and one of the persons I think who has had a quite inspiring journey even before XU, certainly at XU, and most certainly also after. So in that sense, welcome and thank you so much for joining us. And if I may start, I would really like to look into that journey just a bit, asking you, who do you think you were when you came to XU, and who do you think you are today?
Thank you, first of all, for having me at this beautiful campus, and also very honored to be your first speaker at this episode. And the tough question at the beginning, okay.
Yes. Indeed, that was the idea.
So, before coming to XU, I was the person always questioning, am I the right person studying IT, because I studied computer science in my bachelor's here at XU, and I was always questioning my different actions, and during XU and during my task, my responsibilities, being the student representative, taking different responsibilities here and having exchanges with our professors, and very good exchanges, also with mentors, I kind of experienced that my role changed in a very, very good way, in a very subtle way, in someone who actually also admires being this person. So believing in myself, believing in the different actions, and also believing that people are supporting me if I reach out, because I'm taking actions, because I'm taking responsibilities. So from before, kind of questioning, kind of insecure, to being someone who believes in my abilities, who sometimes also admires. It's not easy because we are kind of also very critical, and but someone who's self-confident and dares to dream.
That sounds great. It sounds almost like transformational in that sense. Did you, just picking up on that, did you expect this, or was it like more surprising the way in which you developed around here?
I did not expect this, and I was always the person who had no plans. I'm kind of very open in a sense, and I knew that I like to take responsibilities, but I did not expect that I have been offered this opportunity, being, for example, the student representative or taking other responsibilities during my time here at XU, also outside of the university. And also, again, the first advice is go out there with an open mind. Because there are always different paths, and it's up to your own mindset that you take those paths, because you will have an open growth mindset.
That's great, and it seems like this is also something that still accompanies you also during what you do at the moment. Yeah. Could you maybe explain a little bit, like maybe how some of those either expected or perhaps also unexpected learnings that you had here, how they play out now?
Yes, so indeed I had different kind of learnings that I could also apply outside of university. And the role, for example, at SAP in the AI ethics team was nothing that I expected. I did not directly said, okay, I want to go in a corporate into the ethics field, because this was just a very new field. I just knew that I wanted to do something that has impact to the overall society. And then, of course, I did a lot of research and applied also for several jobs. And also actually this job from SAP was recommended and came into our mailbox from the alumni mailbox. So I also saw it then. I was like, okay, if already my prior university kind of sensed this position, then I just take it. So it was about just taking the opportunity and going all for it. It was, of course, as it always is, a long journey, but it helped me a lot.
I find it really fantastic what you just described, also the kind of journey that led you to indeed this position at SAP and the AI ethics field. And indeed, it would also be one of my questions to you since you're here. It says on my script, is AI good or bad? Mm-hmm. So, of course, it's a personal account, but I would be super interested to hear.
Is AI good or bad? This is the question, because I can definitely tell everyone listening, AI is here to stay. AI is, our new water, maybe. And a technology per se is, we cannot definitely say, is it good or is it bad? In my opinion, I would say it's just how do we use it? Do we use it in a good and responsible way? That's why my position at AI Ethics, the ethics team. Or do we want to use it in terms of making profit, in terms of because AI is a mirror of our society, already kind of using the different steps that we have in our society to make it even worse. And we have bad actors, so AI could be used in a bad way. But as I'm a very optimistic person, I believe that we can use AI for the good. And I'm very, very hopeful and enthusiastic that we also in Europe, with the UAI Act and with great talents, can change it in a good way.
That sounds great, and indeed I'm super happy to hear that you are an optimist. I try to be myself. However, what's your personal relationship with AI? What pronoun do you use when you refer to ChatGPT? What is it for you? Good
question. I have not thought about the pronouns, but immediately, intuitively, I use he, actually. If I try to use ChatGPT, for example, when I have to admit I use ChatGPT a lot when it comes to AI tools, but there are also different AI tools, of course, when it comes also to more privacy and other aspects. But I use he, and I don't know why, but yeah, it feels more comfortable. And when I now think a little bit back, I understand that I also just realized that if I listen myself, if I listen to, for example, when I say he or she, my brain directly thinks, wait, Dilem, did you really talk with a person? Mm-hmm. And then I directly think, okay, I need to change it, and it's not easy. It's not an easy process, but we will have to think about the consequences, because we're talking with the individual. It's just our technology and technology bias we have with using technology, and we directly tend to anthropomorphize it. So we have to be careful, actually. And this is good that you just asked me this question.
Yeah, it's very interesting. A very interesting observation. Also, I think from your end to really think about it as a bit of a person. Mm-hmm. I recall a professor that I was working with a while ago, and she always said, "Please think plural when you think AI, because it's not this one entity. It's a whole cloud of influences." But for me, it's the exact same pattern. So I also, when I think of it or have communication with it, I tend to think of it as something, some kind of entity which is able to respond in a human-like way. So is this, do you think is it then also something, since you mentioned that you use it quite often, that influences your personal matters, or would you rather use it for professional purposes?
I use it for both. So I use it for professional in different aspects, and there are so many AI tools out there, and I also believe that in the future there are going to be less, and we need to be more educated and enlightened which ones we should use for what. This is different, definitely something many stakeholders need to improve on, because it's, as I said, it's a new electricity, so humans need to understand which tools are good and which not. And also for personal, actually, I use it, but again with ethical aspects in mind. Mm-hmm. So I really make sure that I don't use personal data. There are different things that we can do to make sure that we use it ethically, and also when it comes to privacy. And it can also be leveraged, I would say, to use AI. Mm-hmm. And then go out to a discussion with real humans, and take the inspiration and exchange. But don't rely. Don't tend, as I say, to not rely on the output, and just use it as an inspiration, as something I can take, discuss with humans. Mm-hmm. And then have that as a second opinion, but at the end, it's me that takes a decision. Mm-hmm.
That's I can very much relate to this. And building on it, do you think that perhaps in this area, or maybe also in some other area that you experienced while also being here, did things come up which look different to you than they looked back then? Or maybe phrasing the question a bit more simpler, is there some kind of advice that you would like to give your younger self when you started here?
An advice that I would give my younger self is try to make it only one advice, because there are different advices. It's just dare to both just dare to believe more in your own abilities, but also because you are also biased in your own opinions in different aspects. Dare to just reach out to people and ask for advice, ask for mentorship. This is, I think, one thing I would always give my younger self. So believe in yourself, and also because you give that energy and because you want to give something back as well, go for advice and take this advice and be a role model and educate the younger generation. So it's kind of an exchange, and ever-going exchange.
Yeah. Did you find it difficult once you had this realization that one can indeed ask for advice? Did you find it difficult to get advice around here? Or could you maybe remember some piece of advice or some person that stuck with you in that sense, that gave you some advice which indeed put you on a bit of a different path or gave you some elevated knowledge?
I recall, several incidents, and I always believed, okay, I don't want to go out and reach, for example, to you or to someone else, because time is precious and everyone has a very, very tough schedule. But actually it's the other way around. People want to help. People want to help you, and people want to give advice. Also, I have, back then I had when I came to Exponential University, I also had a mentor, and also I talk to her until now, not on a regular basis, but I really, really admire that she's so open, and that she kind of also says she's proud of who I am right now. We actually exchange. So I give her my advice, and she gives her her, because she's a little bit older than me, her advice. And it's good to see that it's always a two-way. So, I like it.
That sounds really great. And I took note that also for us, being me and also perhaps some colleagues, we need to make sure that we come across as being approachable, because it seems that, for example, as you described, you had moments where you thought that, oh, maybe this person does not have time for me, and that, of course, should never be the case. Wow. So that was quite some deep talk. Next question is a bit more light, but I would really like to know, what's your favorite app?
What is my favorite app? My favorite app, think about it. So I have two, I have to say. For communication-wise, it's WhatsApp. But when I need to nail down on just one, it is Spotify, because I just love listening to music when I go out for sports, for example, or just need to relax. Or I also love learning. So there are so many things that we can learn on Spotify, going somewhere else and just listening to a podcast, for example. So I guess I don't need WhatsApp because I can just call the person via smartphone, but I need Spotify.
Would you say, since you mentioned that you would even learn via Spotify, do you think you are the audio type when it comes to learning? More like the reading type or the tactile type? Or is it mixed for you?
Yes, I am a type, audio type, and also I like visuals. So, of course, for example, there's YouTube, where we have videos, for example. I would maybe have a mix of videos and audios, yes. It helped me a lot because I'm not the person who likes to read all the time, but I really like to see more and hear more and make it more real. So there are different types, of course, but I would say I'm more the visual and auditive type.
And again, I would take note here, because also here what we try to do at XU is to create a learning experience that indeed caters to different learning types. So in that sense, it's always great to get some of that input also to understand how our students, or in this case former students, like to learn and what makes them thrive.
This is something here I have to say is that you did already a very good job in, by having different project-based learnings. For example, we had a startup semester. We also had pitch training, and our professors back then also highlighted that for example, always showed video or audible type, and they were also open for feedback. So they were very, good, approachable. And this is also why I chose actually coming to XU, because I just like your innovative approach. So keep on going, doing this.
That is very nice to hear. Thank you so much. How would you, since we're now also at that bit of your journey that helped you graduate at XU and then led you to the next step, a deeper question again, how would you define success for yourself?
You see, I kind of think I need to ponder what success means. It is, however, very personal. And for me, success is, I'm proud of being the person that I'm right now because I took the actions, and because, of course, I took the action, but also it's a little bit about luck. But in the end, it's about how I feel about myself, and am I proud? And they're different, of course. There's bigger success and other small little successes, and we should not be so critical about everything that we take, because every day brings about successes, and we can be more proud about every single day.
That is very nice, and I fully agree. It's about also celebrating what happens in everyday life in this regard. Thank you so much. Since you mentioned being critical, that indeed would be the final question, in the sense of, what do you think a university like XU could address more openly or more frequently? What is it that perhaps we could put on the agenda more than we do?
This is a hard question because you do a lot of things great, and as I'm also a critical person, as you just pointed out, I like to give high-level feedback for people who are already in a good position. So let me think. There is one thing, and you already do it great, but I think we could even put it on a higher level. It's the aspect of diversity. Diversity doesn't only mean people from different locations internationally, but also people with different opinions, different mindset. So cherishing diversity, make it more as a kind of, and this is something Germany on a political side needs to build on, because diversity is our future, and embrace every person's opinion. And so this is the first thing. And also, this is the second, go out on a political level, for example, and say, hey, we are the first university that takes diversity as number one priority, because we want our students to be happy, to be proud, and because they are doing so many things on their own. I did, for example, a lot of things on my own here with great students with me together. So these are, I think, the two things that you could improve if you want to be among top 3 European-wide, yes.
Awesome. So I said it was the last question, but now I have a follow-up since you mentioned that. And this would be like maybe also for universities, generally speaking. You are a coding and software engineering alumna. You work in the IT field. So you work in a field where perhaps other credentials next to university degrees are also super important these days. So what then could perhaps universities per se do to still stand out, to still be relevant, and to make sure that a university education is acknowledged and is something integral to a career?
Also, good final question that I really like. And this is something that also perfectly fits, I think, to the first question that you asked, and to why we talk about also, for example, artificial intelligence. So for the next thing that will shape our life, already shaped a lot our lives. And it is, first of all, having the expertise, so having the knowledge to what happens around. For example, that's why I studied tech, to understand what actually happens. But the very, very most thing that I think companies, but especially universities, need to teach is the critical thinking. I quote something that made me think is from Sheng Han, who said the next, so the software engineers, the coders will be the next HR, the next HR for agents. So they are the ones who are going to coordinate all the tech AI agents, be it somehow around. So this is very exaggerated, but it gives us a kind of thinking, okay, we need to develop, we understood the technology, but we need to go above and understand what's happening, critical thinking, also lifelong learning, always switching, having an open mindset, because our life will be flexible and our life will never be like this linear anymore, but it will change on a very, very fast pace. So yeah, being critical and being open for new things.
Those are great final words, I would say. Thank you so much, Dilem, for this. Thanks everybody for listening to this pilot episode of Exponential Questions. It was my pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for this very, very fruitful conversation, I think. And I hope also you learned a little bit. Yeah, looking forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.